All right, look live, Jarvis. It's playtime.
What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Why? Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake.
Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcoming you to this week's episode of Spot Show Livestream. Hold on one second. All right, we're good. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody's having a good week this week. Let's see here. Forgot to do one thing. Of course, there's always 1 to 100 things I forget to do. One thing I almost forgot to do this evening was make sure I was on live. But within the last 40 seconds of the countdown, wherever the countdown was, I realized, hey, I'm not live. When I checked, YouTube to check out I was live. But anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? Let's see. Like I said, I gotta do one more thing. You don't want to see this. All right, I think we're good now. I gotta put a little chapstick on. Guess my lips get a little chappy doing this every now and then, and I often forget to bring the chapstick in here with me. But I remember today. Anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? I done asked that. My week it's been cold. Oh my gosh. So if I seem a little like I'm on drugs, like I'm on what do you call it? Meth. Obviously not on meth, folks. But this ain't straight. There we go. I had one of my early morning concrete pours about 600 yards yesterday morning. So if you watch this before, I'll explain again why I have to be up that early or be at the job that early. There's no point in me going to sleep. I just stay up all the way through, and when you get to be my age, jumping around, moving around, bending, standing, then today, picking up the samples and everything, little thing that kind of, it takes you a few minutes, or takes you, I don't want to say a minute, it takes you a couple days to get the sleep back in. Joe King, what's up? I've slept since the last time I seen the last 3 or 4 digit on your thing there, and it's a little too far away for me to see. But I can see everything else, just not the numbers. I guess tally together. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, yes, this is Spot Show live stream. I am live and in living color, baby. So get your mamas out of the kitchen, get your daddies out of the fields. I don't think, unless it's an island country, nobody's daddy's nobody's in the fields. Not at this time, not in this weather. Maybe a little bit during the day, but not this time. Anyway, so yes, call your friends, call your girlfriends, tell your girlfriend, call her friends, tell your friends to call their friends, and tune in and let's talk about the sport of professional wrestling. Going to talk some TNA. Going to talk some NXT, some AEW. Going to have the Dynamite recap this evening. Let's see what else, and a little bit of talking about this Saturday night's main event. Hopefully, I'll be able to see that as long as my power stays on, because I don't know if oh shoot, what the heck? Kayfabe, people. See, told you, wasn't quite ready yet. There we go. Pretend like y'all didn't see that. Figment of your imagination. But anyway, yeah, so got a lot of that to go to, and what should we start with first? Let's do the AEW Dynamite right quick. Then that can set the other little news story about AEW. And let me know if y'all, I know this kind of a sort of new format. I am going through NXT, and actually this is the first time I've done it in a while. I guess since I started this program. TNA results, even though I wasn't able to watch NXT or TNA, but that's changed. I've long story short here, I got Sling again. I just thought of it because my younger sister mentioned something about Sling for next year's football season, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to get that because AEW or TNA is going to be on AMC, and since I do, I mean, oops. Well, yeah, I mean, right there is a logo. I got the TNA logo, NXT logo, and I hardly ever talk about that shit. So, go through their results. But I did watch Dynamite this week, and I don't know what it was. I guess I don't know if it was Slack Asleep, but man, this show will be nice. I'll be nice and say the lack of sleep kind of made things annoying to me, so bear with me. But we'll get right to it right now. So here we go. Whoops. Here we go. Yes. Last night we had AEW Dynamite that took place at the Edition Finance Arena in okay. There we go. Oops, wrong one. Edition Finance Arena in Orlando, Florida. Don't mean to digress a little bit. If you ever go to Florida, if you've ever been to Florida, you done a tourist thing, that's the same way, at least the times I went. Every tourist host, whatever, that's how they pronounce Orlando. It's welcome to Orlando. And it's enjoy the sights of Orlando. Here we are at the Universal Studios in Orlando. So, anyway, that's where this week's AEW Dynamite took place at. So, let's get to it here. Where am I at? There we go. Sorry, I haven't got my fancy shit down yet. Let's see. Here we go. So first match was Speedball Bailey versus Samoa Joe. Ended up that Hook got involved by grabbing the referee's attention so that Shibata could hold Bailey long enough for Joe to recover, nail a Buster on Bailey for the victory. Next up, we had a street fight. The Death Riders, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and John Moxley went up against Rocky Romero. Sorry, lack of sleep. Had Chikaro, and Lance Archer, the members of the Don Callis family, uh, were involved in this one. Family got the numbers advantage when Archer put Yuta through a table. Marina Shavir got involved, counter a Archer chokeslam with a triangle, but Wheeler rebounded, got Archer in a psycho knee STO combination with Garcia. Moxley got chokeslam on a glass barbed wire board. Garcia locked in the Dragon Slayer on Romero as he had a Dragon Slayer on. Moxley would not come out with the stomp, giving the Riders the win. And I don't know if anybody watched this last night, but oh my gosh, how annoying was Don Callis on commentary along with Tony Schiavone. Oh, it was just bickering like two little school kids. I mean, I guess that's what they was going for or whatever, but it wasn't funny. It was cringe and was freaking annoying. Speaking of annoying. Oops. So next match we did have the debut of Alex Price and Jordan Oliver going against FTR. And if you thought Tony Schiavone with Don Callis was annoying, the bell didn't even freshly ring before Tony and Stokely were kind of bickering. I would say Don Callis and Tony was a little more annoying, but anyway, it was just annoying. But anyway, FTR let the newcomer shine. Did a good job of that. So hey, okay, this is your first match. Try and get you established. Gave a good display of what they got, but towards the end, Dax was like, "Hey, playtime's over, kids," and Chop and gave strikes to both Price and Oliver. Shatter Machine gives FTR the W, but like I said, good display of the newcomers, Alex Price and Jordan Oliver. Very small guys. Definitely straight from the independents with no gym membership. Or if there is a gym membership, very short, very visits ain't very often. Or they need some more protein. I'm not talking about steroids. I'm talking about maybe a steak, some potatoes, something like that. Get some food, people. All right, next up was Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander. I have no idea why this wasn't the main event. See, this is one of the problems I do see in AEW, as well as they do not place matches where they can, especially on Dynamite. Collision 2 probably, because I haven't watched Collision in a while. But they don't put matches that should be the main event of your program on the main event. Nothing against Swerve Strickland or Kevin Knight, but this match could have been put here, and then, or that could have been the opening match, vice versa. I'll talk more about that match later, but this was, to me, it seemed like a more marquee match. Should have been a main event, but it is what it is. Now, of course, there's another thing. This could have been a pay-per-view match because, Josh injured Omega's friend, and Omega's trying, move up the ladder, get a AEW World Title shot, all that. But like I said, it is what it is. I don't book the shit. Anyway, Josh attacked Kenny as Omega was coming out. Omega would bounce back, but Alex Xander took over out of the front slam on the apron. Again, Omega made a little bit of a comeback, but Josh took over, working over Omega's leg after a what's it called again? Dragons or a anyway, like a leg drag. I forgot what it's called again. Sorry, like I said, sorry folks, like asleep. Anyway, I know Omega will come back once again and win with the one winged angel. So like I said, good match here. Placement, kind of wrong spot here. We had ladies action. We had Penelope Ford, Mega Bane versus the Thomas Love Bombs. Okay stuff. That's about it. Love Bombs actually got the early shine over Bane till she powered back, took over. Hot tag to Storm, back and forth. But Ford and Bane got the win with the Doomsday device on Mimi. As that was going on, Marina, who can't figure this out, thought the Death Riders were turning babyface, but now they some of them going against heels, babyfaces, whatever. You had Marina come out and attack Tony Storm as the finish was transpiring. So put her in a mother's milk submission hold. Like I said, don't understand that, but I guess she's kind of aligned with Penelope Ford and Mega Bane. Good to see Penelope Ford. She had a nasty injury about 6 months ago. Good to see her back though. And now it's time for the main event. It is Swerve Strickland versus Kevin Knight. Like I said, nothing against these two, but this should not be the main event of your program. This should not be the, again, to me, it would be Omega versus Josh Alexander, your marquee match of this program, not this one. And there's one more thing kind of annoying me, but so anyway, good match, but not so good move placements in this match. So we had Swerve during the course of the match. Towards the kind of end of the match, the fight went outside, and Swerve gave Kevin Knight a pile driver on the barrier, as you see in that picture, kind of. Knight beats the 10 count. Swerve locks in the Dragon Sleeper, but Kevin comes back, gets full of energy, coast to coast with a UFO splash for a 2 count. A bunch of back and forth going on between the two. Then out of midair, it was the house call from Swerve Strickland, nailing Kevin Knight, vertebraker. Then Strickland finally hit the big pressure for the win. Like I said, the Dragon Sleeper after this move should have ended it, but it didn't. Could have had him pass out, tap out, whatever. I understand they're trying to elevate Kevin Knight right now. They're trying to elevate him, but sometimes there's ways to do it without having moves like this. This move, it did it very safely and everything, from what I can tell. Like I said, I've never been a wrestler before, but took very good care of him. But this is one of those, okay, this is going to intensify your feud. He's going to pile drive you here, knock you out for a month, but we'll keep talking about you. We'll send cameras in and to your home with a neck brace and all that. And you come out with a neck brace eventually, and we'll pass. But no, it's just a spot in the match and a bad placement to the especially right after that we got the coast to coast UFO, his finishing sequence, and just a 2 count. But other than that, decent show, and this wraps up this week's. Oh shoot, I forgot to press record. But anyway, that wraps up this week's AEW Dynamite recap. Guess I'll do it next time. But anyway, let's see. 24:54. Hold on one second, folks. Let me. I'll maybe do some post editing later. But yeah, let's see. Joe King, Kevin Knight reminds me of every other young wrestler there. Lots of acrobatics. Yes. I mean uh, he's perfect for AEW. He does a lot of that. Like Mike Bailey does a lot. Kind of supposed to come in like a martial artist, but I mean, Bailey does a lot of strikes too, but a lot of high flying as well. But yeah, I mean that's his deal. He does a high flying acrobatics, looks good, but like a lot of these wrestlers, his knees are going to feel it probably sooner than later. And not that a lot of wrestlers never get knee problems. It's just the fact that a lot of those probably get those a little later than sooner. Even though when they're taking, I mean, just moves kind of protect their opponents and stuff like that. They'll, which is strange. I think it was Bobby Eaton's interview, and he was talking about it. The guy giving the interview was like, any major injuries or anything like that, anything bothering you? And he said, well, I've had problems with my right leg, which is funny because I always landed on my left leg. I always absorb the blows and everything on my left leg. And what was it I watched? I think I watched the Clash of Champions. Well, there's been a couple Bobby matches where, and of course I watched this interview probably a couple months ago. Then just so happened I watched a Midnight Express match where Bobby comes from the top rope, does a knee drop, and of course it's when you're watching as a kid, you're not looking for it, you don't notice it, and just so happened I noticed it's like, man, I mean, we're talking a beep hair from the opponent's head. Again, I watched. It was just on. I think I fell asleep, and I fell asleep, and YouTube showed the Clash of Champions that had Ric Flair and Bobby Eaton, and I mean, see where the leg dropped on Ric Flair. Maybe just enough for if everything was happening fast, you thought he and of course Ric Flair sold it like he uh almost getting his head chopped off, but yeah, the force of the blow and everything on the left leg, but the right leg maybe that much maybe touched Ric Flair if anything, but like I said, Ric Flair sold it. And that's the thing about it. If you know how to protect yourself, protect your opponent, and sell, guess what? Little moves like that, or not little moves, but your moves going to look good, no matter what. But yeah, I mean they're fun to watch. I mean I'm not knocking them. I kind of dig them. He is fun, kind of like that Javon Evans, except for the one thing Javon Evans has over him is height and room to grow. A lot of room to grow. Puppy would be. He's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of acrobatics too, but not sure. I can't say I've watched too many of Evans' match as far as indies, but I would imagine they kind of toned a lot that down. But on Raw, you see there was a move. I don't know if it was during commercial or was a springboard lariat or springboard clothesline. I call it the Air Pillman. That's what it used to be called because Brian Pillman did it. Excuse me. I don't know if that's what hurt his arm or shoulder, but match was stopped. And of course, could be just part of an angle, but something like that usually not. See, I wish they didn't do that angle with Seth Rollins because Now you just don't know. I mean, which I guess double-edged sword. Fans don't know, but part of it is it'll be people are going to always doubt it. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, talked about AEW there, and this is a good segue to let's see here. Oh, whoops. Here we go. Scroll on up here. Uh-oh, what happened? I guess y'all can see some magic here. Sorry. Like I said, I usually miss a couple things. But here we go. We'll fix it. A little pre-production stuff I usually do. I don't think it's probably the right way, but it is what it is. Is that him? And of course, I'm getting blind as a bat in my old age. Okay, there. Wait a minute. There we go. That's not him. There it is. Boom. Then there we go. Okay. And you're on. There we go. Trying to be fancy like Applebee's. Anyway, so yes, brings us to this young man, Trey Miguel. I was trying to find the clip. I couldn't find the clip, or a usable clip. I don't know if anybody remember the movie Friday, where Craig Ice Cube's character gets fired on his day off, and that's one thing everybody asks him. It's like, his dad, how the hell you get fired on your day off? And of course, Smokey, you gotta be a stupid mother, get fired on your day off. But anyway, I guess that's kind of what happened here. I don't even think the ink was dry on the contract. He is part of the Rascals, and recently signed, and about not even a week. Was it the Saturday or Sunday or something like that? It was announced that he was released. So here's his first comments since being released from AEW and announcing a break from wrestling. Trey Miguel shared insights that may explain his unexpected exit. He addressed his situation on X, stating, "I made a lot of mistakes in my time. I've always apologized and did my best to put a better foot forward after. I don't preach hate. I don't take any pride of being hateful. I'm a man of faith. I believe in forgiveness and only ever preach that. I am a different man today." So apparently what happened was, and of course he didn't mention his release directly, but during Sunday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez suggested the release did not stem from AEW talent nor Tony Khan, mentioning that it likely came from higher up, possibly from AEW's primary partner, Warner Brothers Discovery. Miguel's past homophobic comments from 2020 on Facebook and anti-Semitic remarks from 2019 on X have speculated as reasons for his situation. Meanwhile, the in-ring debut of Miguel's Rascal teammates Zachary Wentz, Desmond Xavier, and Myron Reed has yet to be announced. even though they said they're on there. So let's got it right here. Let's try to. So this is Trey McBriar is his real name, obviously. This is, I'm not sure who this was directed to, but this is what he posted. Obviously, you're gay. Most people, as unattractive as you, become gay out of fear of rejection from the opposite sex. So you find comfort, ability, and familiarity in the same sex and end up matching someone who's the same as you. Gay because there's no fucking options, you ugly bitch. Now, sorry, I guess I shouldn't be. This is what somebody else wrote, and I having a chuckle of it. Like I said, I have no idea who's he talking to or talking about. For all I know, they're probably friends. And this is, I found this one thing. I think there's a couple others, but I couldn't really find screenshots or anything like that, or any kind of pictures of it. Um, just articles here and there, and didn't really have time to post anything. But the council culture, as we have learned, that just this year, it's a double-edged sword. Um, when you thought that council culture was all about one side, guess what? Uh, it, and like I said, like we learned, actually not this year, last year. Yeah, this year just started. Last year, um, it's a double-edged sword. You post stuff on social media, um, and it will come back and bite you. Now, like I said, Jay Briscoe. Whether you agree with what he said, didn't agree with what he said, it didn't matter. The opposite spectrum of the um, cancel culture pretty much didn't let him get signed by WWE, nor when AEW came about. Uh, Warner Bros. Discovery is like, no, you're not signing the Briscoes because we found this. Now I'm not saying I know Trey McBrair's or Trey Miguel's uh, political stuff. Like I said, it's almost. I don't know if was out of meaning. Like I said, I don't. Reason I think this is funny. This looks like something I would say to a friend, and just a rib, just to make fun. Nothing to be personal and hateful. Just one of those things you're sitting there talking to a friend, and you're doing the insult thing. It's like, oh, obviously you're gay, or and the reason you're gay because you want ugly mother. It sounds almost like that, but like I said, I don't know who's pointed towards. I don't know what was said to him before that, but it is what it is. It got discovered, and guess what? He is out of AEW for now. Now Warner Bros. Is about to get bought out by somebody. It looks like it's going to be Netflix. But I don't know if TBS and everything's going to be a separate entity. That's still a little fuzzy to me. So I don't know what's going to transpire there. And I think there's a little bit of hope that from some people. Like I said, I shared a clip. Check out AVA Pop Culture. I think that's his name. Chase is his name. He could give you a better rundown of that. like I said, I don't have the link. I'm kind of middle of my own stuff right here. I'm not going. Just check out his channel and his rebuttal. The guy's very much a movie buff. And actually went to school in film, majored in film, top film, made a couple movies. So dude knows what he's talking about as far as film. So, and the whole Warner Bros. Being bought out by whoever, and gives a good opinion, gives better insight than I could. But I talked about it on this program, but I was going through the wrestling aspect, of course. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword. What little bit I've watched the Rascals, they seem pretty good. This guy seems pretty good, but again, you gotta be careful what you say. Me, now there is one thing of wishing death and celebrating a death of somebody who's um not killing anybody or anything like that themselves. Uh, like total innocent people, wishing death upon innocent people because you don't agree with them. There's a difference between that and there's this that okay, I don't know if there was an argument here and he just had an outburst. People do that, say things they probably don't mean, they really don't mean, and then if he apologized for it back then, whatever. Uh, I didn't talk about it when it was going on. Now it's popped in my head. I'm not going to try to discuss it that much further, but kind of like and it's almost like a double standard too. I was really going to get on soapbox about this a week or two ago, but this during the kind of Christmas break or whatever. But um, Tessa Blanchard, there's from what I gathered, it's mostly he said, she said, all this about what Tessa Blanchard might have said, did, or whatever. Supposedly, she's apologized and kind of denied doing it, but did and I guess she's friends with the people and whatnot. I think I touched about the potential Tessa Blanchard situation when she first came back, and still she gets ton of hate. Now it's been surfaced about that supposedly Devon had an encounter with Jim Ross that he deemed was racist. Now, for some reason, don't know what it is. First of all, Jim Ross is flat denying it. Like I said, I don't know. Only people who knows is people who are there, not me. Maybe somebody in the crowd there, but you still see on the comments people giving Jim Ross a pass. Oh, this was 30 years ago. Who fucking cares? It's like, why are you giving Jim Ross a pass, but you're not doing the same for Tessa Blanchard? But like I said, and there's I'm probably point out a bunch of stuff that probably shouldn't be said or probably wasn't nice, but is it directed towards me? Is it going to offend me? No. Um, you know, I mean, it happens on. It only happens on days that end with Y when somebody wants to get on the internet and talk bad about Southern people and Christians and white people. about this and that. But in the end of the day, I read it. I'm just like, or see it a video or read it. Then I'm like, who fucking cares? And I think CM Punk said something. You know, I guess okay. I'm not sure. Okay. Supposedly he said, because this is again on the internet during an interview. I didn't even bother to Google it and didn't bother to talk about it. But he mentioned, I think he was talking about horror movies. Mentioned Freddy Krueger. I think he said his favorite's Michael Myers. Freddy Krueger, yeah, he's he's a child essayer, murderer. So I can't like him because he's Republican, something like that. And it's like, okay, whatever. Um, and I'm not going to get into all that, but it's going to be a time where, it's like, hey, dude, everybody's going to start having common sense one day and going to see that. And you might be in a counselor culture bubble because now you're going to assume that everybody who don't agree with you do that, even though anyway, let's just say everybody in any kind of anybody who works in the entertainment industry probably shouldn't be talking about and pointing fingers at who's what, because more likely there's probably a lot more things going on underneath your nose, and when it does come out, you're just going to take the high road. You're not going to say shit. So that's my opinion about that. But like I said, if he did it, and like this was what 5-6 years ago, and look at I mean, like I said, 2019 anti-Semitic stuff. Go online now, especially from one end of the spectrum to the other, the Free Palestine people. If you really want to see some anti-Semitic stuff. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, this is what got the dude fired. Maybe should do. I guess somebody should do their due diligence to see and say, hey, is there anything out there? If there is, let's talk about it now. Let's go to whoever, because I guess uh, Warner Brothers Discovery is a primary partner. I guess flipping, I mean, they give them money for to be on TV, so they do gotta say so on who gets on TV on their program and who doesn't. Which I think at one time you can see Rosemary's Baby, directed by Roman Polanski. Google that name. I think that was on HBO Max at one time. I'm pretty sure that we can. I think they had Jeepers Creepers on there too. So there's that. There's my 2 cents about that. And I know nobody wants to talk about that shit. So this was a segue, and yeah, anybody watches this shit, I go off on a tangent sometimes on a lot of things. But like I said, something should have been said about this before it got signed, before it got announced that I guess he was on. They were all on Collision, and he was on TV saying, "Yeah, we're about to come in and kick some ass," and then he gets let go. So if that's what you're dealing with, you need to kind of make sure what's going on. All right. Let's see. What's the wrong way? See, I got my notes here, and of course I'm not professional, so therefore now everything's formatted. Sometimes sometimes I even surprise myself in that I do that, but today it was just okay. Do this, do that, do this, this, whatever I need to do, just put it on there, and wherever it is on my notes, I'll figure it out later. And wherever this is on my little scene display here on the OBS, gets put in that way. So anyway, so NXT this week. Like I said, it's going to just be just a rough rundown on the matches. First match we had the. One minute, let's see here. There we go. So I can look at you, I can read. Even though you can probably tell I'm reading. Anyway, NXT North American Champion Ethan Page defeated Elio Lafleur, the French luchador. This was his NXT debut, and looks like Ethan still had to use some dirty tricks using the trunks and everything on that one, but Ethan got the victory on that one. One of my favorites when I was off last week's, Shallow Hill got a win this week over Josh Briggs in the NXT Championship ladder match qualifier. So he's going to be one of the 6 combatants in the ladder match for the vacant NXT Championship. Vanity Project, who are also making their debut, they got a big win on Chase U. Had a little interview segment here with Jada Parker, and put Blake Monroe on notice, saying, "Look, I ain't putting up with your shit." Okay, she didn't say that, but that's what Miss Parker meant. Sorry, I dig Miss Parker. What do you guys think about Miss Parker? All right, Sean Legacy defeated Eli Knight in another NXT Championship ladder match qualifier. And in the main event, it was Zaruka defeating Ran QCC and Fatal Influence for a chance to for the number one contenders for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship, which who'd you never meet, Joe? Miss Parker? Actually, you can watch NXT. It's on CW. I think you can watch. Yeah. Because like I said, I don't have cable and Sling don't have CW, but you can download the CW app on your smart TV. Miss Parker. A lot of Friday. No, it's just Miss Parker. Yeah, fans seem to dig her. What was I saying? Yeah, a lot of Friday references here this week. Talking about people get fired on their day off or released. Then talking about Miss Parker. What was it? Bernie Mac. Lord, that's my shepherd. He knows what I want. Miss Parker. Classic, folks. I don't you know what? I think just about every movie before 2019 is triggers people, I think. Problematic, toxic. All right, let's see. Also, this week we had the debut. Whoops. Okay, here we go. We had the debut of Son of a Bee Sting. Where'd it go? I thought I had it all here. Hmm. Looks like I'm going to have to do that shit again. Trust me, folks, I will be better prepared tomorrow. Possibly. No. You know what else I don't have prepared for? Mm. Bear with me, folks. There we go. Anyway, so yes, TNA made their debut AMC. One read not so great reviews. Um some of it was I think the production went good. There was a taping after that where somebody came out as well and didn't get a warm reception, and they were like, why the heck they bring her out to begin with? But it is what it is. So the first match they had Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Elijah, uh, formerly Elias of the WWE. They defeated or Order 4, Mustafa Ali, Jason Hotch, and John Skyler with Tasha Steeles and Special Agent Zero. So Sasha got in the ring, but Matt gave her and Ali a twist of fate. Elijah fought off Hotch and Skyler. Matt gave Hotch a twist of fate. Jeff followed with a Swanton bomb, giving them the win. After the match, Special Agent Zero attacked Elijah and the Hardys from behind. The Righteous came out to check on the Hardys. The Righteous attacked the Hardys. Vincent chained Jeff's earlobe to the ring rope. Vincent gave Matt a Swanton bomb. Vincent took the mic and vowed to win the tag team championship at Genesis. AJ Styles actually opened up the program, talking about this was the house that AJ Styles built. Of course, AJ Styles, as far as national TV exposure, was his own promotion. They started him. He was the first, I believe he was the first X Division champion. Especially during those Asylum years, the Wednesday pay-per-views, they were good. Very much highlighted AJ Styles. And when the TNA first started, they were partner with the NWA. Wait for Billy Corgan bottom. It's like I forgot the documentary, but somebody on there's like, it kind of was that way. I hate to say it because I was a big fan of the NWA, but at that time, it was just a bunch of indie guys who, I guess, leased the letters and National Wrestling Alliance and said, "Oh, we're part of the NWA," but it definitely wasn't what it used to be back in territory days. But he was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, also multi-time TNA champion. When they dropped the NWA part, just kept the TNA name. Uh, then uh, they want to be cheap with AJ, and AJ's like, yeah, I got families to support here. So went to Japan, eventually came to WWE, but uh, basically, yeah, the first star there was AJ Styles. He made a few appearances on the program, gave Santana pep talk, got face to face with Frankie Kazarian during the course of it. But yeah, open it up, reintroducing people. So maybe we'll see AJ Styles make a few more appearances for TNA if he doesn't have to retire at the Royal Rumble. Let's see. The inspiration. Oops. What do we have here? They took, the inspiration, Jesse McKay and Casey Lee, uh, went up against the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance, who's with Ash by Elegance and a bunch of other, and Perez Hilton made an appearance. This is for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Let's see. The inspiration, not the Consurge out of the ring. Mr. Elegance interfered, leading to M getting the pin to win the match and tag team championship. And in the main event, it was Mike Santana defeating Frankie Kazarian to win the TNA World Championship. And this is his second time winning it. Let's see. A few appearances here, too. Had Sonya Deville. She came out and was going to be like a co-GM, I guess, of TNA with Santino Marella. Then she winds up knocking Santino, and that drew some boos. But I think she was like a co-general manager of SmackDown one time. I think she did very well in that. I think she can talk very well. I kind of wish the trio of her and Shayna Baszler with Zoe Stark were together. I did like that formation team back in the WWE, but that's when they started releasing people, and DeVille got released, and Baszler got released, and unfortunately, Stark has a serious knee injury she's still recovering from. Hopefully, we'll see her back soon. And tell you what, let's take a quick commercial break before we talk about SmackDown, because I'll have to do some editing again, but can't do it at the same time. So anyway, enjoy this commercial. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. If you made it this far in the video, you're having fun. You folks know what to do. Everybody says this, so let's go through the whole routine. If you enjoy it, click on that like button. Also, leave me a comment. Give me your opinions on anything I talk about tonight. Ask questions, or just drop a friendly hello. That's always cool as well. Also, if you enjoy listening to a fan, just like you folks at home, talk about the sport of professional wrestling, be a champ, click on that subscribe button. Now, back to our program. And we're back. I'll try to make this real quick. Anyway, so yes, this Saturday is Saturday night's main event. Taking place in Montreal, I do believe. I forgot to highlight that one, but oh well. We'll figure it out. So far they only got 3 matches listed, so we'll just go with that for right now. They might add one to there. Hopefully I should be home by the time it comes on. I think. Think I don't come on till like 8 o'clock on the Peacock. On the cock. Uh but yes, I got a sophomore sense of humor too, even in my old age. But do I think this is gonna be some game banger or game banger show? Uh well just a 20-star show, whatever. No, it's what you see here is a kind of a glorified Raw SmackDown. Maybe one pay-per-view quality type match, but yeah, definitely one match it could have been. Oh, excuse me, a premium live event match. But um, but is this going to be a banger of a show? Possibly not. But it'll probably be either mid to sorry, my phone kept going off. But I think it'll be at least watchable. I thought the last Saturday night's main event, I thought that was good. But but we'll see. It'll still be somewhat enjoyable if you don't put your expectations too high up. But anyway, so we got a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Riho, the champions, taking on the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. I don't see why they should take the belts off of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky just yet. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to get the victory on that one. Maybe in a rematch they can get the belts. Joe, one I can watch. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you got the peacock. You've got the cock. Okay, that don't sound right. Let's see. We got a singles match: Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, of course, uh, I guess helped Drew McIntyre defeat Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. So I guess Cody's looking for revenge here. Fans are definitely souring on him now. It's kind of what's being said on the internet wrestling community is finally bled over in the live event. So and on TV. So not sure if they'll turn him heel or does that they'll just look at the numbers. If he's still selling merch and all that good stuff, then maybe it's like just let it ride like they did John Cena all those years. Uh, then I guess eventually when he gets ready to retire, they'll come back around and say, "Oh, thank you, Cody," and all that bullshit. But kind of a hard one to tell. I almost want to say this might end up in the Smas because I don't think he want to defeat Jacob Fatu yet. He just came back, and he's got a good upside too. And I mean, it's nothing gonna be wrong with defeating or getting beat by Cody Rhodes, but not quite yet. Let's if he did, cost him the championship, let's have a couple more matches like this. It's Saturday night's main event. It's not a premium live event, so if it ended in a Smas, disqualification, double count out, brawl, whatever, let it happen. Uh, let it sizzle a little bit, or maybe Jacob somehow cheats to win if he's the heel in the thing, or if they're gonna pull the trigger and turn Cody Rhodes, maybe this is where they do it kind of. Maybe a kick in the crotch, pull the trunks, using the ropes, doing use a foreign object, use a chain, use a knucks, use a chair, whatever, and get a victory like that. But let's go with a safe bet here, and we'll give Cody Rhodes this one. Me personally, it's like, I'll probably let this one in a smiles or something, or disqualification, or double count out, double knockout. And we have a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. Like I said, the undisputed WWE Championship is held by Drew McIntyre. So you got Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. Now, I think I mentioned this a few times during the course of the year. I know it's very, when I made a prediction, it was early, but I'm still predicting my personal prediction for the Royal Rumble. Now, it might change between now and when I do a prediction edition of the Royal Rumble. I'm going with Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble and then go on to beat either Drew or CM Punk, the Punkster brother, at WrestleMania. That way he can show up on Raw and SmackDown the next day and get his "you deserve it," yada yada yada. Then probably lose it in the next couple of pay-per-views, maybe. Or excuse me, premium. See, I keep doing that. Premium live events. Say it. Premium live events. It's premium live events. So Sammy's not winning it. That way he'll be good and fresh for the Royal Rumble. Trick Williams. It's good that he's in there. Give him some exposure. See how he handles himself with the top talent, but not he's not ready to be he's not ready to for top championship match at a top pay-per-view. Not quite yet. So Trick Williams not winning this one. So that leaves Randy Orton and Damian Priest. What do you folks think? I almost want to go with Damian Priest. He's a former world champion. Defeated Drew McIntyre for that championship because Damian Priest was the Money in the Bank winner. Drew just defeated Seth Rollins. Then got in a little pissing contest or stay focused on the Punkster. And then that's when Damian Priest cashed in. So it would kind of make sense if Damian Priest be the opponent for Drew McIntyre, kind of erase that little blemish, and kind of, do it on Royal Rumble. I mean, Damian Priest, former world champion. I would love to see Randy Orton win it. But then again, I would love to see Randy Orton beat Drew McIntyre. Also, I want to see uh, Randy Orton get at least one or two more championships before he retires. Because I know it's getting pretty soon for him to think about retiring as well. And that could just, I mean, that'll be a good marquee matchup for Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Because I don't know, I want to see Randy Orton as like the captain of this match. Kind of the guy that makes sure the match goes where it's supposed to be. But like I said, I'm banking on Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble, so therefore, why give him a title match at the Royal Rumble? I mean, that's the reason I'm kind of erased Sami Zayn from that equation. Trick Williams, a little too soon. He's going to be there one day, I think. Uh, but not right now. Or he's got potential to be there one day. I mean, in NXT, he showed he can be a tremendous babyface, and he showed that he can be an arrogant heel. So therefore, that's kind of person you want if you need one to work and not the other one. Um, but like I said, sometimes what you might have in NXT doesn't exactly carry over to the main roster. But dude can talk. Dude's got ability. Uh, pretty well built, tall, everything. He's got everything going for him. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Trick Williams, but right now a little too soon for that kind of a moment. Now, don't get me wrong, they could pull a surprise here, and I won't be upset. I mean, any of those people facing that will face Drew, not upset, won't be upset about it. I'm not gonna. Of course, I'm not like a big, you know, if my person don't win, I'm gonna be so upset. No, nah, not won't be upset. But I like to see Randy Orton uh get one get another reign. So I think that's the reason I'm kind of like not focusing on him winning. I mean, Damian Priest wins. Uh, I think let's see. I think Damian Priest. I know he was feuding with Malachi Black. So that can kind of resurface again at the Royal Rumble, causing him to lose at the Royal Rumble, or just have Drew kind of cleanly pin Damian Priest. That's almost why I'm guessing. Uh, Damian Priest gets that shot. They can tell a story of how Damian Priest um, defeated Drew McIntyre ruined his WrestleMania moment by cashing in. So a story's there. So that's the reason I'm kind of going with Damian Priest on that one. And that's about all I have tonight. Anybody got any questions, comments? Like I said, cheap plug. All you people need to get out and tell your friends. Don't forget tomorrow night is Wrestling Gold Friday night. Gonna feature WWF All Star Wrestling from January 28th, 1984. There was a certain match 5 days before the airing of that program that happened that kind of started an era. I won't say revolution, but started an era. Made pro wrestling go from here to here. What match was that? But anyway, that match is featured. I'm about to give the plug on Facebook and everything else. So that'll be given away. But yes, join me tomorrow night if you like talking about good old classic wrestling. Back when wrestling was wrestling and wrestling was real. Because damn it, it is still real to us. What else? Man, I can't believe I forgot to watch. Of course, I forgot to do that. And of course, next week, I think next week I'll be back in Rockmart. Should be hopefully finish up next week. Depends on what the weather does. Folks, yeah, especially my southern folks, my Georgia folks, this thing's going to last a couple days. You don't need to buy every carton of eggs. You don't need to buy every container of milk. You ain't got to buy all the ground beef. In other words, don't be savages out there. And that's I think if I looked at it correctly, I think most of the bad stuff's going to be north of like very tippy toppy North Georgia, like towards the mountains, as far as snow and everything. We might get some rain, some ice. Supposed to have a family dinner that night, but I think all of us supposed to meet like 5 o'clock. So yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I can get back home for Saturday night's main event. Starts at 8 p.m. That's part of the reason my phone's going off right now. Probably people talking about it right now. But anyway, that does it for me this evening. Hope you folks had fun. Like I said, if you didn't join me in the chats this week or tonight, this thing does get shown. It's on YouTube, so if you watch it that way, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions, comments, or questions. Heck, ask some questions. I'll take some questions. If I don't know on the top of my head, I'll definitely. I got a computer in front of me. I'll Google the shit out of it. And of course, like I said, call your friends, family, co-workers. Join me here tomorrow night, live 8 o'clock for Wrestling Gold Friday night. Should be a fun one. Other than that, you folks have a good one. Take it easy. And until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now, don't forget to click the notification bell as well so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show Live Stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., it's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one and take it easy.
On I-70 somewhere in Tennessee, they're probably gonna be mine. Now, if you nice and you like to bring it back,